Hello everyone and welcome to a new video, and today I'd like to talk about a very interesting topic, and that is how can you bring the mountain, or how can you mimic high altitude training as well as high intensity interval training directly at your home. So how can you literally mimic this high intensity training as well as training at high altitudes, for example at mountain ranges, directly at home? And the simple answer is through something called breath holding. So breath holding actually gives us a hypoxic response and a hypercampic response. So a hypoxic response is when your body has a low amount of oxygen, and a hypercampic response is when your body produces a higher amount of carbon dioxide. And both of those things can give you a whole slew of benefits. And these include anything from actually causing your kidneys to produce more either erythropoietin or EPO, as well as your spleen to produce more to produce more red blood cells. So both of those things can actually increase, right, your oxygen carrying capacity and VO2 max. And there's actually a lot of benefits that come from this, right? And these include things like a reduced sensitivity or an improved tolerance to carbon dioxide, better endurance, reducing fatigue that can be caused by lactic acid buildup, and as I mentioned, increasing oxygen capacity, VO2 max, and as well as something called breathing economy. So there's a whole slew of benefits, and some athletes were actually doing these type of things, like De Oliveira, who was literally a Brazilian track coach, was actually doing these breath hold exercises. He was teaching it to his athletes to improve their performance, and it included things like holding your breath for 15 seconds after 200 meters of running for the last 15 minutes. For the last 15 seconds, you literally hold your breath for 15 seconds for the last 15 meters of the 200 meter race, and then you literally partially rest for 30 seconds, and so you repeat that 3 times, and you give your body 3 minutes of recovery for 3 sets of 4 holds. Or if you're running an 800 meter track, he would say you do it for the last, you can just do 800 meters and just do it for the last 30 seconds. So it's either doing 15 seconds for the last 15 meters of a 200 meter race, repeating it 3 times, or doing it for the last 30 seconds of an 800 meter race. But regardless of the strategy, he literally helped his athlete, right, run. His name is Jacqueline Cruz, win a lot of gold and silver medals in an Olympic games, in the Olympics. And Emil Zapotek, I think is this how his name, also used breath holds, and again, what he did is he literally held his breath every time he passed a tree, a poplar tree, and then he increased the amount of trees that he would hold his breath for. So so he would increase the amount of trees, so increasing his distance as he passed these trees. But the thing is, he literally passed out, and so doing it for too long can also have negative consequences. And Galen Roop actually had the same story, where he held his breath to such an extreme air hunger that he literally passed out. So it's important to release your nose before you get a very big air hunger. So you want a medium to high air hunger to get these benefits. And so this is important, right? And literally, Patrick McCowan literally works with children, and he does things like, like 30 paces, and then the children would They would hold their breath for 30 paces, and every week they can increase 10 paces more. So after a week it'll be 40, after 2 weeks 50, after 3 weeks 60 paces, etc. And he showed that he actually helped them clear their nose, reduce coughing, wheezing, and asthma-like symptoms. So he showed this as being indeed effective. But he also recommends iron supplements for people who are premenstrual, vegetarian, or even anemic, to increase the red blood cell production if hemoglobin level is low enough, because that can make it more challenging to increase your BOLT score even if you're doing the breath holds. So breath holds are a great way to increase your breath, to increase your BOLT score and really increase your carbon dioxide tolerance, because remember, you don't want to breathe it all out, and this process also, breath holding, also helps with increasing your VO2 max and oxygen delivery and utilization by your muscles. So it's a very simple way, and in the next lesson I will talk exactly how to do it, but you can literally get all the benefits of being on a mountain at a high altitude or doing high intensity interval training, which you could still do, but this one is a much easier way that you can do without any equipment, without being at sea level, directly at your house, and reap a ton of benefits. So I will talk about the exact method how to do this in the next video, but just so you know, you can start performing these simple breath holds directly from your home.